Alright, Christmas game, here we go. Running Jungle Hecarim, we're running currently, the runes we're going to be currently running with are going to be 2 movement speed quintessences, 1 flat damage quintessent, scaling magic resist glyphs, flat armor seals, and attack damage marks. Uh, Basically run through just like any other game. We're going to go ahead and we're going to start off with blue. Moving up towards blue, we decide to just go ahead and attempt to take their red in the process as soon as Annie gets here. So waiting on Annie. Annie's chilling, and then Garen's like, all right, let's go take this red. So Garen runs off, starts scouting out. Obviously the coast is clear, so we start moving in. And we just camp in the little brush until red decides to show up. Varus and Nunu are sitting down at the bottom currently, and they are going to just kind of scope out. They see Leona sitting there guarding blue, so enemy may assume that we may or may not attempt to try and invade their blue, but they're again just kind of playing a decoy, making sure the enemy is guarding their blue and not wandering their jungle looking for us. So we go ahead, we take their red. Annie and Garen are nice enough to follow me back over to our blue, where we just go through and do the norm. Knock it down, smite it to death, clear the camp, and then move on with normal jungling. As you guys may have noticed, I started Hecarim with his Q, and overall I tend to build him kind of tanky, which probably wasn't necessary considering that we have a Garen currently. This is at this point where we kind of realize that Ziggs, the enemy Ziggs, may be AFK at the moment as Maokai shows his face at mid and is kindly defending and keeping mid pushed versus Annie, basically not letting her get towards that tower. Go down, refresh red, and take golems, which isn't a norm for Hecarim either. Golems tend to be very painful for Hecarim as he goes through. Golems have gotten kind of tough for all junglers lately. Again, we can tell that Ziggs has been kind of AFK. Maokai tries to gank top to no avail. Rumble disappears from sight and then comes back out. I've gone a little bit longer on my first run through the jungle, thanks to the blue and red that kind of helped me speed through everything else. As now that we know that we currently have a Ziggs who's AFK at the moment, I decided that it's probably about time I try to go do something. I try to move down towards bot where they look like they were overextending a bit, but they pulled back and then there's no real sign of them. I also kind of realized that, well, if Maokai is going to be mid with Annie, that means their jungle should be kind of open to pretty much anyone's free reign. So during this run, you'll notice that I kind of go through and pick up some of their jungle as well as we go through. Zig's official notice of him not being in the game as he's officially been disconnected. Um, Maokai more or less still going through and just defending middle in his absence. I try to run over there and pick up their blue since Maokai blue should have restarted a little bit earlier than mine. And there it is. So I go through, I take up their blue, come back down, I check them, they're pretty much pushed on the tower. I still don't have the capabilities to tank a tower, and Nunu's kind of low, so it seems kind of pointless to force them into a suicidal run in there. Varus picks up a nice double kill though. Pick up Wraiths, move on to Wolves. Annie's asking for blue. I tell her, you're more than welcome to it. So I leave it there for her. I kind of try to move in here, but Maokai disappears from sight and goes plays on his turret. Since we're waiting for a chance for Annie to be able to get blue, I go ahead and help myself to their Wraiths. And I continue to move north, pick up their red, and then from here I'll push up onto Rumble. Rumble's kind of overextended. He's sitting there out there. I say, hey, I'm already back here. So I run up, I ult in, push him back with the E, and me and Garen just kind of beat him all the way back to his turret. Then we just kind of do free beats on the turret. Pick up some farm. We kind of figured this was going to be an easy win as we went through, just because it's starting as a 4v5. Annie was trying to pick up blue by herself, come in there, proc Mandra's razors, do some extra damage for it, and then just kind of let her have blue and let her walk back to lane. Ziggs finally came back, so he's sitting there and he's trying to farm up the best he can. Nunu just picked up Leona, however, and then Varus picks up Ashe, but Leona apparently had Ignite or something on Varus as he goes down afterwards. So this is my second run back, picking up a longsword and the start of what will be Spirit Visage. And again, that's just because of the type of enemies that we're currently going up against. A lot of the ganking involves a lot of magic damage. Leona's magic damage burst, Maokai has plenty of magic damage, and Rumble is of course heavy magic damage as well as Ziggs. Try to move in there on Ziggs, try to push him towards the turret. Luckily, he didn't throw in Minefield or anything when he did. Otherwise, the turret would have probably procced on the Minefield damage I would have taken going in there. It started firing on him, and he would have been dead. But we chased him off there. He's still very low, but he decides to hang back and tries to keep farming. Annie gets overzealous and pushes him up more, but Rumble and Maokai chase Garen down there, and he goes to meet them, but they're like, no, we're not going to have any of this, so they go back to mid. We see what's going on here. Rumble tries to go after Annie. I come in, I knock him back, Annie bursts him down, and then I pick him up with Q. We kind of clear up a little bit.